Ladies and gentlemen, the ceremony will begin in 5 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, please make your way to your seats. The ceremony will begin in 2 minutes. Please take this time to silence all cell phones and other electronic devices. Distinguished guests, community leaders of the greater Fort Knox area, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. On behalf of Major General John R. Evans, Jr., Commanding General of U.S. Army Cadet Command in Fort Knox, welcome to the Assumption of Responsibility ceremony. Today, Command Sergeant Major Jerimiah Gann will assume responsibilities as the Command Sergeant Major of U.S. Army Cadet Command in Fort Knox. We extend a sincere welcome to our distinguished guests, community partners in excellence, general officers, Command Sergeants Major, and all of our guests here today. The Cadet Creed was adopted to instill in senior Army ROTC cadets the values that are critical for successful performance: Cadet Avery Duvall from Western Kentucky University will now recite the Senior ROTC Cadet Creed. At this time, Mrs. Autumn Gann is receiving a bouquet of yellow roses, welcoming her to Cadet Command in Fort Knox. Yellow is the color of friendship, and the blooming flowers represent new beginnings and the hopes of a blossoming new relationship with the soldiers and families of Cadet Command in Fort Knox. Yellow roses are also being presented to their daughters, Madison, Melody, Patience, and Mallory, Sergeant Major Gann's mother, Debbie, and his stepmother, Susan. Sergeant Major Gann will also present a Cadet Command coin to his father, Richard Gann. The Gann's sons, Ethan and Zach, were not able to join us today for the ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the invocation given today by Chaplain Lieutenant Colonel Thomas Brooks, U.S. Army Cadet Command's Command Chaplain. Remain standing for the playing of honors and our national anthem.
Let us pray. Dear God, we thank you for another day of life and opportunity to officially welcome Command Sergeant Major Gann to Cadet Command. We pray that he and his family would quickly feel a part of this family, and that you would help him to apply his wealth of leadership experiences to the unique context of this command at such a time as this. Help him as he advises leadership and extends command influence, maximizing our mission success and preparing the next generation of Army leaders. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. The assumption of responsibility is a simple yet traditional event that is rich with symbolism and heritage. The key to the ceremony is the passing of the colors. The very soul of a military unit is symbolized in the colors under which it works and fights, for the colors represent not only the lineage and honors of the unit, but the loyalty and unity of its soldiers. The custodian of the colors is the Command Sergeant Major, the senior enlisted soldier in the command and principal advisor to the commander. The non-commissioned officer in charge, Sergeant Major Robert Whiteley, will pass the colors to Command Sergeant Major John Woodson. Sergeant Major Woodson will, in turn, pass the colors to Major General Evans. The passing of the colors symbolizes the relinquishment of responsibility and authority from Command Sergeant Major Woodson. Major General Evans will pass the colors to Command Sergeant Major Gann, charging him with the responsibility and authority that comes with his position. Charge orders for Command Sergeant Major Jerimiah E. Gann. Let it be known that from this day forward that the Commander of United States Army Cadet Command in Fort Knox has placed special trust and confidence in your patriotism, dedication, integrity, and leadership abilities. Therefore, you are hereby appointed as the Command Sergeant Major, United States Army Cadet Command in Fort Knox. Command Sergeant Major Gann now returns the colors to Sergeant Major Whiteley. Let's have a round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, the Commanding General, United States Army Cadet Command in Fort Knox, Major General John R. Evans, Jr.
All right. Can y'all hear me? Is it on? Okay. Yeah, I had a problem hearing the cadet a minute ago. Okay. Hey, welcome to everybody. Thanks for being here. I know this is only really our second opportunity to have a ceremony here in Waverly. We planned on doing this outside this morning, and the team said, sir, it may be rain. I said, it's not going to be any rain. So I'm an Army aviator. This is what I do, weather stuff, right? And as we walked in, I was eating my words as it started raining on us. So good call there, Sergeant Major Whiteley, wherever you are, and the G3 team, and our weather prognosticators for making the right call. Hey, this is a big day for us here at Fort Knox, not just because we get to welcome Sergeant Major Gann and his family, but also because it has been 4 months since we've had a full-time nominative sergeant major here. I want to thank Command Sergeant Major John Woodson for stepping in and filling that gap, stepping up from 7th Brigade of Army ROTC to do that. So, John, thanks for doing that for us. But really, it's great to have Sergeant Major Gann on board. And let me explain for a minute why it took so long to get him here. You know, as Mario Torinis was selected to go to the 10th Mountain Division, where he is continuing to do great work up there with my good friend Brian Menace. You know, I had already selected his replacement, and we were going to have about a month gap in there. And then we kind of really hit the heart of the COVID fight. And Sergeant Major Gann's last job was to be as the Command Sergeant Major for the Army Training Center at Fort Jackson, South Carolina, where we bring all of our youngest trainees. Any of those who aren't going to be going into the combat arms pretty much come into Fort Jackson and get their training there. And so as Army leadership kind of looked at what we were doing and the fact that we have got a one-star commander in that post, very capable general, but still he's kind of on his own down there, the right thing to do was to keep Sergeant Major Jerimiah Gann at Fort Jackson while we weathered that storm. And he was one of the real reasons that we've been successful in continuing the initial entry training in our Army. And so, Sergeant Major, as much as I hated to have to wait for you, I'm glad you were where you were at, and you were where the Army needed you, and thanks for doing a great job there. So, anyway, yeah, absolutely. So I wanted to explain that to everybody so they understood why we've been waiting for our Sergeant Major for so long. So let me just start by thanking all of our guests for being here today. The McKendricks, Major General and Liz McKendrick, thanks for being here. Kathy Glazer, thanks for being here. I know Bonnie Michaelis is in here somewhere. Bonnie, great to see you. My wife, thanks, honey, for being here. Other distinguished visitors, guests, our gold neighbors are here. Barbara, I'm going to spank you for coming to these things, but I know why you're here. So, and Carl and many others that are out there. Brian, good to see you. Please give our regards to Congressman Guthrie. And I understand that Honorable Tate may be in the room too, but I didn't get a chance to meet her beforehand. So if you're in here, ma'am, State Senator, thank you for being here as well. And I want to do some special welcomes if you'll give me just a minute here. Since we're not all standing in formation, we'll take a little bit longer here. But I want to welcome the Gann family. And I'm going to read because I haven't had a chance to get to know everybody yet, although I did get to meet everybody this morning. So we've got Jay's mother, Debbie, who's in from St. Robert, Missouri. Good to have you here, Debbie. Thanks so much. And my understanding is she follows me on Facebook and Twitter, so she can offset all my trolls. That's good. We've got his father, retired Command Sergeant Major Richard, who is here from Crocker, Missouri. and his wife, Susan. Thank you both for being here. Sergeant Major, appreciate your service and passing along that legacy of service to your son. We've got his wife, Autumn, and newlyweds they are, just so everybody knows. I'll go ahead and let that cat out of the bag. So she's getting, she's kind of getting death by army right now, with a PCS during COVID and housing and all the stuff that goes with moving. They're dealing with all that right now, but you have weathered it well, so great to see you and welcome. And then he's got 4 daughters here. He's got Madison Gann, the 18-year-old, and she is in school right now at Mercy Medical and Baptist in Missouri. She wants to be a nurse, and I said, hey, we do nurses in ROTC. Army, we're the only commissioning source for nurses. So if you change your mind, you let me know. Melody, who's 15, who's going to be going to Fort Knox High School. Great to have you here. Patience Wilson, his stepdaughter, who is 13, also going to Fort Knox Middle High School. And then Mallory Gann, who is, are you 13 now, Mallory, or are you 12? 12, okay. Also going to Fort Knox Middle High School. So great to have you here. His son Ethan couldn't be here today because in that proud legacy of service like his father before him, Ethan is a 12 Bravo combat engineer at Fort Campbell and is serving our Army there. So we hate that Ethan couldn't be here, but we know he's got things that are going on in his life as well. And then Zach Brown, his stepson, is working in South Carolina. He couldn't join us today either, but appreciate Jack joining us in spirit here. So welcome to the Gann family, and thanks to all of you for being here. You've got a bio of Sergeant Major Gann's many, many accomplishments in your program, so I'm not going to read through it, but I do just want to hit on a couple of things. So this was very interesting when I sat down to interview him. So he graduated from high school in 1997, okay? So I was a major in 1997, and it struck me because he is the youngest, I think I'm right on this, the youngest 2-star nominative sergeant major in the Army. And I think that speaks to his absolute professionalism. And when you take a look at what he did, it isn't because he took any shortcuts. He has been to just about every professional military education school that's available to our NCO Corps. He has served at every level of NCO leadership across our Army, to include, this is his 4th command sergeant major job. He has deployed from Korea to Africa to Iraq 3 times in support of Operation OIF. He's had CONUS assignments at Benning, Stewart, Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, obviously, where the home of our engineers is, and most recently at Fort Jackson, South Carolina, and we are happy to welcome him here to Fort Knox, Kentucky. Let me say this about Sergeant Major Gann. I haven't known him long, but I'll tell you why he's here. There are a couple of real perks to being a general, and believe me, there's only a couple. Everybody might think there's more. There's just really a couple. But one of them is when you're in a command billet, you have the opportunity to pick your sergeant major. So that's pretty special because as a battalion commander, as a brigade commander, you get what the Army gives you. Now, usually they're exceptional choices. The process is very, very good, but you get what the Army gives you, and so you've got to build that relationship from scratch. When I interviewed the 5 candidates that were on the slate for this 2-star billet command sergeant major job here to be cadet command and senior command sergeant major for Fort Knox, he was a standout. Not that the others weren't good candidates, they were exceptional. But I will tell you, he stood out in every regard. He is personable, he is engaged, he understands soldiers, he understands leadership, he is the epitome of be, no, do, and he is a model NCO, which is exactly what I was looking for. Ranger qualified, sapper qualified, combat engineer. He has been there, he has done everything that we want our cadets to be proficient at, and I can't wait to get him in front of cadets when we have an opportunity to do more traveling so that they can learn and take away from the quality of person he is. We're excited to have him and his family here, Autumn. It's going to be an interesting ride. If you need anything at all, Carol and I are here for you, but we're going to absolutely help you be successful. And I will tell you that this installation is exceptionally fortunate to have a command sergeant major with the level of experience, the level of tenacity, and the level of dedication that we see in Command Sergeant Major Jerimiah Gann. So, Jay, welcome to Fort Knox. Welcome to Cadet Command. We're excited to have you here, brother. Leadership excellence.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Command Sergeant Major of United States Army Cadet Command in Fort Knox, Command Sergeant Major Jerimiah E. Gann.
Thank you, sir, for those kind remarks. So I've been hit up from Europe, coast to coast, to include Alaska, saying, make it short, I got PT in 30 minutes. So, Sergeant Major Blaisdell, I got the note. Thanks for the warm welcome, sir, to the entire Cadet Command for putting this ceremony together this morning. Sergeant Major Woodson, great job. Appreciate it. Distinguished guests, Cadet Command teammates, and Fort Knox neighbors, thank you for being here and extending such a warm welcome to me and my family. I also want to recognize my mom, Debbie, and my dad and stepmom for making the trip up from Lower Missouri. Thank you, and it's always glad to always make sure that you show up to these events. And of course, the biggest thanks goes to my wife Autumn and all of our girls. It's interesting mornings in my household. So, as you can probably imagine, with one small bathroom and all kinds of makeup. So, to all of them, Madison, Melody, Patience, Mallory, and thank you, and a shout out, of course, to my sons Ethan and Zach that couldn't be here today. I may wear the uniform, but they take on a pretty new Army adventure with enthusiasm that I couldn't ask or do without their support. So, girls, thank you for putting up with Dad when he's cranky. It's going to be a fun ride. We're going to have a fun time here in Kentucky. They've already pretty much know every square inch and everything that I haven't taken them to yet. And we will definitely get out and about and around the installation. I come from a small, tight-knit community there in Missouri known as Crocker. So this is our first time to Fort Knox, but we already pretty much feel at home. My military roots run deep in my family. My dad, as mentioned, is a retired Sergeant Major, Class 43. Two of my brothers in the military. I got one that's a Black Hawk pilot. He's a CW3, and I got one that's a First Sergeant. He's a mechanic. And then, of course, my oldest son assigned to 2nd Brigade 101st as a combat engineer, literally trying to follow in my footsteps. Though I'm new to Fort Knox, I'm no stranger to TRADOC, and I'm definitely no stranger to training soldiers. And I'm very interested, excited, and enthusiastically, energetically want to become a part of training officers. So that's going to be a very fun part for me, sir. I really appreciate the opportunity, being able to help them decide what career path they want to go on, and explaining to them my experiences and knowledge, and trying to give them the best advice that I can, and getting out and doing some good PT with them. I really, really look forward to that opportunity to continue to bring officers of character into our Army, and I really look forward to that. Again, Major General Evans, thank you for the opportunity to serve with you in this entire Cadet Command. The travel calendar is pretty much already starting to fill up. And I look forward to getting out there and meeting all these young, great Americans that are going to become officers in the United States Army. And I look forward to meeting all of you. And I would like to really I'm very personable. I do like to get out and about, and I want to meet all you face to face and hear your story and hear what you got to say. And anything that you want to tell me that I'm doing wrong, I'm always all ears. People first, winning matters, leadership excellence. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the playing of the Army song. Words to the Army song can be found in the back of your programs.